Good morning. Working on the Silverado. Went ahead and did a drain on the transmission. Like to do that once a year, just with the I run about 10,000 miles, but towing this trailer, the other one, it's just it's a lot of miles, a lot of stop and go, and it didn't really look too bad. I'm sure we could have gotten a little bit longer, but it was a little bit on the darker side. So I thought, well, I got time. Yeah, see, not too bad really, but it's really easy on this truck. I mean, it's not too hard on the 4L80 either, but the 6L90s, with the way this truck's set up, is a piece of cake. I used to like to run the AMSOIL, but it's a little bit harder for me, and cost-wise, doesn't make as much sense. So per se, but I'm using the Dextron 6 full synthetic, so take about 6.5 quarts. So we're going to drop that in. Next thing we're going to do is, not that it's super duper important, but we're going to do LED, the bright yellow, neon yellow LED fog lights. What we got jacked up there. I just have to remember how to get those tabs off. That is so confusing. And then, ever since I've had it, it's had a kind of a weird, clunky in the steering. We did the Pitman arm and the idler arm already, and that's helped drastically. Maybe those will still work. So we got the Dorman arm here for the intermediate shaft. Voila. So we'll see if that makes any difference. Just got to loosen it from there and then do some stuff on the inside, and we'll see how it goes. I'm glad it sounds as simple as that, but we know nothing's ever quite that simple. So let's see what happens. And that brand new transmission fluid looks so bright and red. I should have looked at my own videos because I forgot how to get these lights out. All you have to do is pull, because they got these little tabs here. And so you just get your old bulb out. It might take a little work, little tabs and so forth, but it's not near as hard as it kind of looks, and I totally forgot. Silly me. So I went ahead and put 5.5 quarts in there. So we'll check that here in a few and see what it looks like. And if here's on the side though, here's a 1914 Evinrude outboard motor. You got a monstrous Champion spark plug on that thing. Crank handle still has compression. Strange, but what a piece of history. What a piece of history. 116 or 12 years old. Crazy. Okay, got the quartz in, got the fog lights put in where we want to. Crank it up, run it through the gears. See what we think. And of course, check the fog lights. We'll turn these on and hold on a minute here and practice a little. Alright, we'll run it through the gears. I look at my U-joints. I mean, they look a little bit old, but they look like they're good. So I think looks like I need to do the rear main, and so I might try to get that done next year, is do the rear main, and the I got the carrier bearing too, and I have no idea what to do on that one. So either I'll learn how to do it, or ooh, snazzy. I kind of like the yellow. Whoa, we got some flickering running lights there. Looks like it's about time I replace that one. Yeah, okay, dokie. Cool. I like. See what Bear thinks. Alright, so we'll let that run. Check the fluid. Alright, so going under here. So some people say you need to remove the pedal. Maybe, we'll find out. But there's the there's a joint right there. So looks a little bit different than what we're replacing, and it is kind of crusty. So we'll get the outside bolt first, and then we'll get that bolt and see how easy it is to pull out. But it appears that it should be kind of simple. I think I have to take off, I just remembered, I think I have to take off that small housing out front too there. But yeah, see how that head's a little bit different? So what I almost forgot was, to make it easier, I think it's wise to go ahead and take off this, just to make life a little bit easier. It's just the little 10 millimeter, little nut thing. So, all right, let's see if we can get this whacked out. All right, so this has been a piece of cake so far. So this is actually already loose too. There we go. Sorry. So I can't quite get it out yet because it's locked in there. But let's take that off. That gets you exposed in there. And so we'll just set this up where I'm going to set it down here, and then try to make sure. I'm thinking you go loosen the inside first. That might actually be the better thing in the future, but this we're doing outside first, so we'll see. Inside first might be easier. I don't know. Let's give it a try. All right, so we got the bolt out. Well, way too jerky. My apologies. So now we just got to figure out which is the best way to try to move that. It feels like it's a little bit tensed, so we'll see. But it is a 15 on the bottom, and then they had Loctite too. This has never been, I don't think, well, if it was replaced, it was replaced at the factory. But this was the original intermediate shaft. 13 on top, so once you break it loose, you got to use the ratcheting 13, and I had to use the new Icon ratchet there to get it off. So let's see what seems to be easiest. I'm hoping I can kind of push it up inside, but we'll see. All right, it's being a little difficult to get out, but I can tell already. Oh, excuse me. This link on the other one is the part. That's why I felt so rattly in the stereo. I'm like 95% confident that once I stick this in here, the Dorman replacement, there's going to be virtually no steering rattle in that steering wheel. So pretty excited. We just got to get the this part slid down. It stretches out like this, and it's kind of corroded down in here, so it's just not sliding. So I'm gonna do that real quick first. All right, so we finally got it out. I found out. There we go. It's not quite as floppy as I thought. So we'll see if this is as good a fix as I was thinking. What I did find out was you can use a pry screwdriver to pry through here on the inside, and then once you come out to the outside, you can use a larger, longer screwdriver here, and then against here to be able to pry it the rest of the way down. So that was kind of handy. So we're going to take this off, fit the new one back in to the shaft down here, and then stretch it inside, and we'll go from there. We'll see if this makes any difference. Oh, there I am. All right, so 12:30, we got the transmission fluid done. We got the fog lights swapped out. We figured out that we do need a rear main and probably some U-joint maintenance, or at least check more thoroughly eventually. So intermediate shaft installed too. So got that all buttoned back up. Really pretty simple install, thankfully. So you've probably seen it or you done it yourself, but I heard some people say they need to remove the pedal. Not needed in my case, but I think it was pretty simple. So the only thing next is to drive it. What I'm going to do now is look at that rear area there and see if we can clean up that rust before rainy season, figure out what's going there. Plus I think it leaks into the cab too, so I kind of like get that fixed. So that's the project next. We're doing good. Alright, driving in the Silverado 2 days after working on the steering intermediate link, and thankfully that took the rest of the shimmy and the stutter and the uneven road bumps and stuff all the way up through the shaft to the steering wheel. That got rid of all of that. Yes, 2-year-old.
Yes.
Wow. So I still have a little bit of light steering, but that could be just towing the trailer. Really? Are you sure? Wow. But for the most part, that dormant part definitely fixed a bunch of the shimmy and just the rattling in the steering shaft and in the steering wheel. So do yourself a favor, go and grab one of those. This one was on sale for, I think, $53 on Amazon. So definitely gave me and it's something I knew I should have got when I bought the truck back in November 23. So when he was a couple months old. Yeah, excuse me. I'm talking here. Wow. But anyways, great part, great fix, easy fix for the most part on this truck. So go get you one and have a new feeling truck.